a better feeling?
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Eric.
And I'm Bill.
Bill. You're not Ty?
Nope.
Huh. Alright, this is gonna get interesting. Anywho. Anyway, so today we are not ending the podcast. Well, actually, we probably should end the podcast. We do go search for Ty. He's missing.
Let's go.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why we're ending this week. But today's topic, we're talking about how to start a community in Final Fantasy. Bill and I both kind of got the ball rolling for Chicago in particular. There are some other individuals who did some work outside of Chicago in the greater Illinois region, but we did a lot for Chicago. So
at least at the start, eventually became us. We were the assets that grew around, and then other people started taking up stuff, and those areas started growing, which was cool.
Yeah, we planted the seeds, and then the tree grew and sent its own seeds out. So
gross.
It was it was a good start. I'm actually very proud of where we've come. And so I guess the first thing we should cover is the absolute basics of how each of us got started in Final Fantasy and what made us want to start a community of our own. So what up with you? What's your story, Bill?
I mean, for me, I've always been a fan of Final Fantasy since I was pretty young. When I heard I knew about the chapters version of the game when it was happening, but obviously we don't live in Japan, so that product is not cheap or easy to get.
True.
And then when it came out here, as the opuses and stuff, is when I kind of started learning about it. I'm like, this looks cool, but I never bought into it until I was able to try the game. That started around Opus 3. Did you ever do the Bring in Battle event? Did you ever hear about that?
No.
Okay, so in Opus 3 going into Opus 4, they did an event called the Bring in Battle. So it's basically, those demo decks?
Yeah.
I think that's where those actually debuted at.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing.
Makes sense.
And it was basically, you get the two 30-card decks or whatever, and you play against them. One's themed after lightning, one's after fire. But those decks were, nothing special. It was nice though.
Right.
I grabbed my buddy. I don't think you ever met. Did you ever meet my friend Ian? I brought him over to the shop once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been around.
And so we played. That's where I met Nick. And Nick, because I was completely lost with the game because those rules were awful. You could not make out how to play the game.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Right.
But then Nick. Have you talked about Nick on here before? Do people know who Nick is?
I think we've mentioned him vaguely once.
Yeah, so Nick, he runs Envy Games. Great shop, ships real quick. He's great. And he, at this point, I think consider him a decent friend. But that's where I first met him. And he's like, well, this is how the game's played. And it was like, oh, so it's Magic with attacking kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! And some other mechanics that immediately just clicked with me.
Right.
It took my buddy a little bit longer. He doesn't play anymore. He played a couple rounds with me, and that's about it. But mechanically, it was like, okay, this clicks because I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Semi-competitively. I've played Magic for a couple years. Nothing, too crazy, but I enjoy the game and I understand how it works.
Right.
And so from there, I'm like, okay, sold, right? And then it's like, all right, well, who actually plays this game? And that's how I found out, you guys running events.
Right.
Well, I came to the second event you guys
started? I think you came to the third.
Yeah.
But you were really early on.
Yeah, it was early on with you guys, and it was cool. So, come Opus 4 pre-release, that's where that was my next major event. I think I showed up once or twice to you guys or whatever.
Right.
That's where I met Ty, and me and him just immediately he kept bodying me. I would kill other people pretty decently. But whatever it was, Ty was just the antithesis.
Well, that's because he was getting into mono ice at the time, and
I was also running ice.
Well, you were running ice, but I think
I had a very specific ice deck that was just yo, let's make this slow.
Exactly.
You want to slow this down? Let's go.
Ty had something about his playstyle and his deck builds that it was evil.
Yeah,
it was evil.
There's something about it. And so. From there, I went to the Opus 4 pre-release. That was the first actual pre-release that they did. Because before it was we're releasing a set, but we're not doing anything special.
Right.
And so you got that shitty dice.
Yeah,
Didn't make any sense.
Still don't know why they included that.
It's a pretty, like, the dice is pretty.
Well, yeah, but
like,
why? What use does it?
Absolutely unnecessary. But, you know, it's what it is.
Yeah.
I still know people who have, like, just a grip of them in their
I
deck box.
still have them, too. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know where mine is. I think it's, like, in the floor of my old apartment somewhere. But, yeah, so that's where I met Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse basically started stuff at Good Games with me. So we met. Nick showed up. Jesse showed up. A couple other guys showed up. There was not much. It was probably like 5 or 6 of us, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it was cool. It was. I brought my buddy Ian with me again. I think that was one of the last things he ever really did, except for that one time he showed up at your guys'
Yeah, he came with.
And yeah, so the Bring Battle was held at the store I work at. Wasn't working at it then. That's how I actually found out about the store, and eventually I started working for the store. But yeah, the Bring Battle, then that event was what connected with me, Jesse. And so Jesse is a collector. He wants to have 3 of everything and 3 of everything in foil, and then more to play with.
Yeah,
because that's just for his collection.
But he runs such a successful business. He can afford to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
He just, you know, he's doing things, which I'm very proud of him. I just wish he'd come out more.
Right.
Or at least come out more when I'm in town.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Jesse and me. So basically, I'm one of those people who just don't care about foils.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Same.
I like them. If I have them, great. But I'm not gonna outwardly go for it. And if somebody's offering me one card of the same thing with additional value, I'm gonna take that almost every team.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I roll with it. And Jesse, like being what he is constantly needing stuff. And so I think we just met at each other on Facebook, and at one point we messaged each other. It's like, hey, do you want to get together and play? I don't remember exactly what the contents were or what the deal was. But yeah, we just started. We met up. We traded a bunch, jammed a couple games. I was running ice that just demolished his fire deck.
I hated that ice deck.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was fun for me. But it made the game so long.
Yep.
It's the type of ice where just like, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to make the game stall out.
Yeah, I'm making you lose.
I'm making both of us lose. That's really what it is.
Yeah, accurate.
It's a masochist.
Yep.
You know, back in Opus 3 or whatever that was, 3 and 4, we're just like, yep, dull 2 things, dull that thing down. Okay, ice, freeze, all right, cool. And you do that, rinse and repeat. That was the point of the deck. So it's like, cool, here's my 2-drop rogues. Mm-hmm. Let's block. Can't do anything? Cool. That Zand? Nothing. It's down. You can't do anything. Fantastic. I loved it. Keep wanting to remake that deck in some capacity, because I think now it would just be even grosser. But there's enough reactivation stuff where it's like not.
That's
an
true.
issue.
If you're against wind, it's immediate lose.
Yeah, basically. And even back then, that was a hard matchup, but it wasn't like
impossible.
Yeah. Now
it's just.
It's like, cool.
Super countered.
You got Vada, you got Bartz, you got this. All right, you're screwed.
Yup.
But yeah, so we started meeting up and doing trades and stuff like that. And I don't know exactly how it started, but you know, eventually we're just like, do you want to actually get the events at the store going? I'm like, yeah. Because a little background about me, I'm an event contractor. I've been doing it for almost 10 years. I know the markets. I know things like that of what's going on. I specifically specialize in Comic-Con, which is really weird to be able to say that I specialize in running Comic-Cons and working for people at Comic-Cons for a living. And then my other part-time is working at a board game shop. I love it. I can say I'm a professional nerd, and that's what it is. It's, like I said, it's still weird to be able to say that. And the fact that I've been doing it so long is even weirder, because you see people come and go all the time in this industry, and there's very few people who actually stick with it, I would say. At least into the capacity that I am. But it's what it is. Mm-hmm. And so with my background in events comes the knowledge of, let's run events. Like, you know, I've been around not just Comic-Con, but I've been doing concerts, other kinds of events too. And that's kind of where my specialty is. Specialty, I can do words. So I think when I first started out, we did a lot of just like weird events. So we did, you know, our balance is doing casual every other week. Mm-hmm. Because it gives us a place for new players to come in, so you can acquire new player bases, as well as having just kind of casual games. And if people want, you know, since it's casual, if we want to make it into something more constructed or whatever, we're able to.
Yeah.
The store gives me a lot of freedom to be able to do that, which is really, really nice to have that freedom for. And then going from there, we have usually some sort of constructed. Back when I was first starting, it was like cool theme, like element themes or things like that. And considering my line of work, I was able to get cool prizes, different stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I think that was one of your biggest draws, was the fact you always had something signed, you had unique stuff, you had plushies.
We would just go with the, all right, what can we get this week and see what it did. You know, a lot of people in our area know this, but people outside don't. I ran an event where we got Ultimania Archive 1.
Yeah.
Signed by Yoshitaka Amano, which is a big deal. I got to meet him at San Diego Comic-Con 2018. And I was lucky and was able to get a couple things signed. I got some stuff for myself, got some stuff for an event. And then, speaking of which, we have an event coming up.
Yeah.
That's going to be, technically this is the first announcement, if you will, of it. I'm still working out details. I want to wait for some more information about the community event spotlights.
Right.
Because if that comes into play, I think that's going to be important to know. So I'm postponing anything about that until I find out more because it's in my best interest. But yeah, we're going to have an event with a signed copy of The Sky, which usually retails about $100. You can find them online for way cheaper, but this one's signed by Amano himself. As well as like 3 or 4 signed lithographs with mini sketches in the corner.
Beautiful.
I was getting one signed. I got it at New York Comic Con this year, 2019. And it was funny because he was signing, and his assistant looks at me and is like, "Your hair's really really cool." Because it's not a normal hairstyle. It's really short on the side, but then they got the wave kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've been working all day, so it's all like kind of distressed a little bit. And so she was like, "Your hair's really cool." And he looks up and goes, "Oh," and I'm just like, "Oh, that's cool." So, so there's stuff like that. He puts a little detail into stuff, which is cool. It's usually minor. He'll like look at somebody's eyes or look at somebody's hair feature and kind of draw that on there.
Yeah.
And again, it's minor. It's like usually you get an eye or stuff like that.
But it's stylistic.
I mean, it's a mono.
Yeah,
it's what he is.
Unique, yeah.
And it's you can't mistake it because it's him.
Yep.
So we're going to do an event with that. The last time I saw one on eBay that was signed, it was in the $400 price range. But I've also seen them upwards over $1,000.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So it'll vary. So I'm really excited for that event to come to fruition. We're working out some details on it. We're talking about making a bigger event, but we're also talking about just keeping it simple and well run. So we'll see on how that goes. But yeah, I mean that's how it started. Was just me and Jesse played a bunch, and then started making a schedule of creative events.
I think the Christmas deck one was one of your funniest ones. Just the red and green and splash some white in there with the light cards. That's everybody's deck had to be that. I thought that was really clever.
Yeah, I remember when we first started, we did holiday themed stuff because I'm just like, well, it's a holiday. I was thinking about doing something like that again. I don't know. I feel like more recently players either want, like, you have the casual people who just want to kind of play, and then the people who actually want to like compete play. Recently, and so I've been catering to that a lot more, where it's more of a standard constructed or something like that. Or I've been throwing in title because I really want to start playing more title. I feel like just not enough representation of that is in there.
Very true. I want to do more title as well. Maybe some boss battle.
Yeah. So I was trying to throw in at least 1 or 2 extra events in, but considering it's pre-release month, it's one of those things where I'm like, all right, well, let's keep it thinned down since it's a new set. You do a win a box. A couple weeks later, we're going to do title, stuff like that. But I think the best thing is just keep a somewhat regular schedule. I mean, me, I usually have my schedule. Sometimes I'm a little behind on it, but usually it's like, cool, you're getting like 3 months of the schedule at a time. So you can kind of plan for it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's how it started. Just me and Jesse just started jamming games, and, now we have a great community of people that, I am glad to call friends. So,
oh, yeah, for sure.
Some of the best people around, if you ask me.
And so my side of it is that, so Ty and I have told the story many times before, so I'll keep it short, but we found the game at E3 2017.
I was there, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah, and we just saw that Final Fantasy had a trading card game, and we at the time both worked at the shop that I still currently work at, and we were like, oh, well, I don't even care if it's good or not. We're buying decks. So we bought starter decks. We started playing. We made a ton of mistakes in the hotel room. It was great.
I was gonna buy one of those, but they were sold out by the time I got to it.
Because
That line, like around that Square Enix booth that year, was nuts.
We got there, the line was dead. We got there right at the end of it, and there were like 5 decks left.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
that line was nuts that year because that was the year that they were releasing Stormblood, I think.
Yes.
They were releasing Stormblood. They announced Final Fantasy 12 remaster.
Yep.
They had a bunch of other shit going on. I think Mobius or something. Like,
I think something like that.
A big Brave Exvius thing, maybe.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of big-ish stuff going on that year. And just those lines were massive.
Oh, they were awful.
What was that game? Was it Dissidia that they had the line around the booth
Dissidia,
for?
yeah.
It was Dissidia, and it was the new expansion.
Yeah.
But they do the challenge.
Yes.
That's what they do.
Because my favorite part, though, is that we had the media passes.
That's right.
And media got its own line, and even that line was massive.
I was plebeian pass.
Yeah. So we still waited a good hour and 15 to get into that booth to play Dissidia NT.
Dragon Ball Fighters. So deal with it.
Okay. But yeah, so we tried it then. We come back and we immediately were like, "Hey manager, we need this at our shop. Like, it's a really good game. It's really balanced, and we can see it going somewhere." He's like, "Well, currently we still are attempting to get the Magic community to continue playing here, but if we go another month or so without them showing up, then cool, we'll ditch that and put Final Fantasy on." And quick side note, all of the Magic players in Chicago tend to frequent one particular store.
I'd say it's 2.
It's 2.
Our store is
you guys have Commander, yeah.
Well, not even Commander. We have Commander people on Thursday, but we have a pretty decent crew. It's nowhere near the other store.
Right.
But we're probably number 2.
Yeah. But keep in mind, the number 1 shop, they focus almost exclusively in Magic.
I mean, that's their meat and
it's their bread and butter, yeah. It's their meat and potatoes, so...
They have a huge selection of everything else, but...
Exactly, yeah. But we sat there and we're like, it's just unrealistic to think that you can compete with that, so...
Well, especially, like, your location, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, there's just not good parking, there's a bunch of other stuff, people can't stay there late, which is generally the crowd you
and we run other events there, so we're like, you know what, let's just keep the other events, we'll let the Magic players go where they want to go, we'll not try to force them to be here. Don't bother strong arming them. And manager was like, okay, what sets should I order for our boxes? And I was like, let's just get 1 booster box of everything out right now.
I would say, because it was 1 through 3 back then.
Yeah, it was 1 through 3.
That's when you were getting into it,
3
right?
had just come out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys had stuff just before I did, basically.
Yeah.
By a couple of months, I think.
Right. And then so Ty and I then also, we heard that the Good Games out in Elmhurst was having a pre-release for Opus 4.
Gaming Goat.
Gaming Goat, right.
I'm Good Games.
Yes, right.
That's Gaming Goat. Both
tongue-tied.
GGs.
Yes.
GG.
So we went to the Gaming Goat out there, and we get in, and we're like, hey, we're here for the Final Fantasy pre-release. The guy at the counter just goes, oh, people play that game?
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, you're having a pre-release for it? He's like, yeah, I have 12 kits. Do you guys want one each? I'm like...
That sounds about right.
And we're looking around.
Especially back then.
The place is empty. So we're like, shit, we'll take 3 each.
Damn.
So Ty bought 3 for himself. I bought 2 for myself and 1 for Kim. And then we crack them. We're playing a bit. And
was this the Opus 3 pre-release?
4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, with the crappy dice and everything. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's right. There was no 3 pre-release.
Yeah, there wasn't.
I talked about this 5 minutes ago. Cool.
And so, so then we go to that. It's empty. The guy actually sits there and asks Ty, hey, do you want to run our Final Fantasy events? We can't get people to show up. And Ty's just like, no, for multiple reasons. The guy's like, but really, why? We're like, well, A, it's a 40-minute drive with good traffic, with mediocre traffic.
B, you work at a competing
B,
store.
we work at a competing store in the city.
Yeah.
And C, he had no experience in running events. So,
really, Ty?
Well, he had a little bit,
Not
but
much.
like he had just enough that he would consider himself below where his bar was a little higher than where he was.
Sure. Okay.
So the guy just goes, all right, well, we need someone charismatic, and I guess if it's not going to be you, then whatever. And Ty's just like, okay. So we played some games, we bounced, we went home, we started, we did that. And then Opus 4 comes along, we actually start running events. I pressure our manager into letting me run the events in place of Magic.
Yeah. And then that's how you picked me up.
Yeah, and I just started making Facebook posts. I shared it around, I told my friends to share it around, I posted in groups.
I don't even remember where I found it. I think I just saw that you guys were
You might have just Googled us, I'm guessing.
I
People
would-
do that
I
a
wouldn't
lot.
have Googled gamer.
Well, like, Googled...
I think I looked at the like people who had stuff in
Yeah.
the Chicagoland area through the Squeenix website back when they actually updated it. Actually, I don't know if they do anymore.
I think they do.
Do they?
They casually...
I had heard something that there was issues. But regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, I looked it up back through that, I think, and I think I found it through just like some sort of shared event or something. I don't know where that came from. Maybe I just looked at like Final Fantasy trading card game. It popped up. And
Maybe, yeah. Because I took all of what we do with our Yu-Gi-Oh players. We have a really big Yu-Gi-Oh crowd at my shop.
I'm sorry.
They're actually good people. They're like the weird cream of the crop for Yu-Gi-Oh
That's good.
people. Like they're not.
I've seen some of your guys. They're decent.
They're not all the best players, but they're all really good people. So I'm
That's
happy.
what I like
that.
about our Magic crew at my shop is we have some really good top tier players, but like none of the shithead ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of them are all real understanding. Like we get kids in all the time because we're a very family friendly store.
Same.
And they're always just like, here, let me show you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're good.
Yeah.
I like you.
The parents feel good leaving their kids there at our shop, and that's all I can be happy for.
Right.
And so I took the experience I had with running our Yu-Gi-Oh events that my manager had given me, and I was like, well, apply the same thing. Yeah. So we did that for Final Fantasy, and we built a crowd. We would have regular 12 people, something at our peak. At our peak, we had like 12 every week. I think that was
not when I was regular.
I was gonna say not when you were a regular at the point.
Yeah, because back when it was us, it was usually you, me,
Nick,
Fogel,
Ty,
Nick, sometimes Ty. Ty would be intermittent.
Right.
I mean, he's still intermittent, but
right.
he's there. At least me when I'm in town, and then but back then that was a little more regular, I think.
True. Yeah.
Ish.
Well, we also were doing things around the end of your season for.
Yeah, that's when I started really
that
picking
helped.
it up.
Yeah.
And then, you meet Ty, Fogel, Nick. There's that one guy that I don't remember his name. He always played that wind deck with the Ranger.
Oh yeah. Oh, Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eugene.
There might have been like one other guy. Oh, Juan Vivanova. He would come in and out.
Yeah, Juan.
I think he was a little bit later, but it was still enough where I was. Me and
we had Juan.
Nick
We
and
also
stuff.
would get who else did we get? Oh my God, I'm blanking on name. We had that guy Gabe, that guy Alex. Both of them stopped showing up for whatever life reasons.
But yeah, it would fluctuate,
like,
but like usually, you'd have like 3 or 4 people.
At
on
least
the regular.
Yeah.
So like it would always like fire at minimum at the very least.
Exactly, and then
that's fine.
Yeah, but our pre-releases were huge.
Yeah, you had.
We would blow up for pre-releases, and that was good.
Good games took a while to actually get the pre-release stuff going, because like
you guys got shafted a couple times too, like real bad.
I was talking about this last night with Avery. There was Opus 4 was like a weird one where there was a couple people who showed up. Wasn't bad, wasn't great.
Right.
Opus 5 and 6, I think, was like super low attendance. Like I remember we just all bought 2 and we still had leftovers.
Yep.
6 we had leftovers for quite a while. I think they way overbought that.
Yeah, 6 was bad.
But which was funny because we had a lot of players at that time. Like people were coming and showing up, and some people would just buy them here and there. Like I think Mariano bought like, over the course of it, he bought most of those extra kits.
That sounds about right.
He just kept buying those kits, and it was good. I mean, those are a great deal. I think it was it Opus 7 that when we got shafted on the ship delivery? No, those were the deck boxes.
Yeah, it was 8. Then you got shafted.
Well, we got shafted on the deck boxes.
Because I remember Jeff saved us with with 8.
Opus 7, there's some weird stuff with the pre-release kits.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think they were like delayed or something a little bit.
Yeah, because
and then the next set had issues with getting them. I might be getting it off a little bit, but it was one of those things. And so like Jesse he ran around the city buying everybody's extra kits. I remember that, and your store also got shafted like we did, and so Jeff came in and saved the day with that pre-release.
We were so mad at distributors for that though.
Oh yeah, that was rough. I mean, how bad of a did they fudge that?
Well, because you got to wonder if we never got an explanation if it was Squeenix or if it was the distributors or what. Because there's 3 distributors that we all use.
You're right. I mean, we've used I think 2 or 3 different ones over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And what's funny though is you ask one side of it and they say no, it's this other person. You talk to the other side and say no, it's this person. So both sides are blaming each other.
He said, she said, and lots of finger pointing.
And I'm sure it's both of them is probably the real issue.
Yeah.
It's both. which is fine. There's no issue with that.
Yeah, it happens.
It's funny.
Yeah, but so that's
and then complete 180 to like cool. Those ones were well attended, but like real annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And then last pre-release, we oversold. Like we sold all these sets, and luckily I think Avery had the extra one because we had one extra person show up over the amount of kits we had.
Oh, okay.
And so luckily Avery had like the extra one or whatever, and he did it that way. He was being real cool about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like,
yeah, right.
We can't go from having like 3 people show up to like, oh yeah, we sold it. We sold them all.
Right. We're done. Yeah. No, I remember our last pre-release for Opus 9. Was it Opus 9? No, it was Opus 8, I think. Whichever one, you came in and bought like 3 or 4 kits the day after.
That was 9, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
because
we were gonna.
me, Jeff, and Was it Ethan?
No.
Me, Jeff, and this other guy
Yeah.
from Dojo.
Mm-hmm.
None of us were able to. Jeff was able to play, but they didn't have any extra kits.
Right.
Me and this other guy didn't have. Like, we weren't able to play during the weekend.
Yeah.
Because I'm always stuck working Friday, Saturdays kind of thing. So I'm just like, cool. There's no chance of me doing this.
Right. But yeah, I felt bad because we had people show up that next day right after you left because Bill came in and bought 3 or 4 kits, and then people showed up. They're like, "Hey, we want to." Yeah, right. It's like, "Hey, we want to do. We want to do a little mini like post release," and we're like, "Guys, I'm so sorry, but."
Yeah, I mean,
so
that's what happens.
But like we had the players, what was happy. We were happy
you
about.
held 2 or 3 back, didn't you?
Yeah, we held a couple back.
Because you held the ones that I ended up buying, and then you kept like 1 or 2 extra, didn't you? Because somebody
kept
called.
One for a buddy of mine who called in. He was like, "Hey, I'm still very casually playing.
Right.
I want to get a kit."
But I think the big thing is ask.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Don't just show up and expect it having extra.
Yes.
Because like we get this at the shop with Magic too. People all the time are just like, "Hey, you got any extra kits?" It's like, no.
Yeah. No. Sorry.
No.
If you don't call in, we don't know how many to order. Like
Yeah.
If
The biggest thing is just expressing interest.
Exactly. But moving on from there, so that's how we got our community's basics. That's how we got them started. I guess the next thing to talk about is how we kept them going.
I mean,
we kind of talked about that already a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, regardless of how many people show up, is you showing up.
Yeah.
Because eventually somebody will catch on and things like that, and it sucks when you're there by yourself some weeks.
Yep,
I've
rock that all the time.
I've had it, you've had it, even when, it's in an upswing or not, but like our shop goes from, cool, we all have like 12 plus players.
Yeah.
Sometimes more, depending on the event. Like some of the big ones we get, 20 something almost. But to those events where it's like, cool, there's nobody here this week.
Yeah.
Like the guys from another store on the south side, they came up, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I was out of town. A bunch of other people just couldn't make it, out of town or sick, whatever.
Yep.
And they show up as like, oh, we came up here because then there's nobody here. Not even like one other person.
Yeah, right. Not even the guy who runs the events.
I'm just like, well, it sucks because like with Jesse he opened a facility, so with me having just my job being hectic, where it's like, cool, I'll be at most of them.
Yeah.
But I can't be at all of them right now.
Right.
It leaves a little bit much. I usually try to point somebody. It's like, hey, are you able to take over that?
Yeah.
Which generally works. I think that's been the one time we've ever had it where it's just like, just nobody showed up.
Yeah.
Basically. And that's a big want to like not have, because when people don't show up, it means people aren't playing and people aren't interested or whatever. And,
yep.
It all takes is one time for somebody to show up and nobody be there and somebody be just turned off the game.
Right.
Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's whatever. But as long as you're there and able to teach and stuff, I think goes a huge long distance.
I also think diversity of options for playing helps.
Oh, like
1 week is 1 week's casual, 1 week's title, one you can do maybe 2v2s or boss battle.
Yeah.
I
think mixing up too much, and this is something I've learned.
Yeah.
Mixing up too much is too much.
Right.
Because your core base of players want either, like I said, casual or competitive play. And I think both of those are important. But yes, mixing it up is also important because it keeps it not stale.
Right, but balance out, right?
Yeah.
There's one of the shops in the area that they almost exclusively run draft.
Yep,
and
which
it's
is fine.
Great. It's fine. It's a lot of new players come in. They want to draft. It's an easy way to start a collection. But after a while, it can get stale, or people decide they don't want to blow $20+ each week. Especially living in Chicago, it's an expensive city.
It's already expensive.
Yeah, right. So, eventually that gets, I don't want to call it stale, I guess, but like it just, some people stop wanting to show up to that. So find a balance of, regular constructed and other unique events.
I think that's what they're starting to do.
They're starting to go to constructed
they're kind of
now.
I think he's taking it as it comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like sometimes it's cool, this is happening and we're going to, see who shows up and what people want to do.
Yeah.
But I think there's still core bases they want to draft, but I think it's taking it as it is.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And we already touched on unique prizing. That's something you're very strong with.
Yeah, I mean,
if you run events for that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
other than casuals.
People are interested in it. Too much. Again, it's another one of those ones where it's like too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
Because some people don't want to spend the money every week or things like that. So just finding a balance, maybe once a month, once every other month, doing a big one is good. And that's kind of what I've been going to more recently a little bit.
Right.
Where it's cool. Let's do a Win-A-Mat. Let's do this. And one thing I've done a couple times now and I think has turned out decent was the Wolves Den stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
Were you there for the first one or the second one?
I didn't make it to either, actually.
Okay.
I was busy both days.
I think I was out of town for the second one, but I had Jesse run it. But the first one we did, I had the Sephiroth statue with him with his hand up, with his hand up in there and the flames whipping up. It's like a bust mostly.
Right. Still cool though.
It's such a cool sculpt.
So nice.
I loved it. So that was like the top place for getting the most amount of categories. We had a bunch of other weird prizes and stuff.
Yeah, I heard.
But Brian just killed it. It was funny. So he came in with a deck that was his own. So it was actually it's funny because both of them ended up being kind of Final Fantasy 7 themed, both the Wolves Den. But the first one was for that statue. So I designated a bunch of categories for it to be Final Fantasy 7 themed. So the big one at that time was not the big card, but the big one I focused on was the Dark Sephiroth. When it comes in, break a backup.
Yep.
And so that would be, you count a point for every time you break a backup with it. And if somebody was playing Aerith, if you broke an Aerith backup, you get double points.
Yeah.
I think that maybe came up once.
Right.
One person actually played it. Super fun. It was funny. But one of the other ones was most cards milled. And so Brian was playing his ice, I think it was ice water deck that he slightly modified for the event.
Yeah.
It was cool, here's some Sephiroth, here's a couple other things. I don't know if he totally geared it for it, but he did enough. And he just ended up sweeping everything. I think he ended up not getting one or two of the categories he was just out of color for.
Yeah.
But the one that was mill was the funniest one because he was like, can I mill myself? I'm like, I didn't say anything against it, I guess. And so he was playing, the Yule backup where you pay for free, you look at the top card.
Yep.
If you break it, mill the top 10 cards of your deck. So that's how he got the mill category.
He would just Sephiroth his own Yule.
He Sephiroth his own Yule and milled. And so he ended up getting a whole nother category.
That's hilarious.
It was fantastic.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Well, it was just one of those things wait a second. I think the next one was just they had 9 or something. It was 8 or 9. I'm just that was hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had some good events, and yeah, mixing it up is important. I think achieving a balance that's your own.
Yeah.
Because you need to, first and foremost, I did it because these are the kind of events I like doing because I love deck building, I love stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been doing as much of that recently, and I think other people have been doing some, but not a crazy amount, depending on the players. So that's why I've kind of stepped away from those kind of events as much because I just don't have the time to do it myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to expect other people to do it if I'm not. But knowing what your community wants to do, or doing stuff that you want to do and seeing if people like it, is very important because you learn this is what works for other people, things like that.
Yeah. It really also helps to kind of branch off from what your community wants to do.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah, right?
Because if it's just you, cater to what you want to do, and then build, if you get a friend who's hey, I want to learn how to play this, I want to do this, whatever, building from that is cool,
yeah.
well, what do you want to see, and then what do I want to see, and you can combine it.
Once you have more people, you start
branching that out.
Yeah, you play off of that, which is kind of why...
Because, like I said, me and Jesse just just started playing games. We started trading, and then people started showing up kind of bit by bit, and we started jamming games and having tournaments.
Yep.
And from there is when I'm like, okay, let's do the more creative side of it.
Yeah. And going off of what the community wants, the community wanted support from the stores in the area. And we found that, once the tournament season really started kicking up for the larger
local qualifiers,
qualifiers and whatnot, we sat there and we go, well, this is an opportunity to show that we actually do really want to support the game. So we actually, Again, it helps that I actually work at the shop, and same for everybody else. Even if you don't work at the shop, you can still ask and kind of pressure them to do it. I mean, host a local qualifier.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
I know for our store, they support us, they do well with us, but same time, it's we're not Magic. We're not trying to be Magic.
Yeah,
like that.
You're not trying to take down the giants.
Right. If you look at other places where it's cool. Both me and this other place could potentially run a local qualifier, but we didn't for various reasons. We could. I would love to. But it's a matter of just coordinating it right. And
it's logistically a pain.
Well, it's connecting to it with the store and having the store do it. So it's hard when you're not part of that as much.
Yeah.
To coordinate that, and if your store's not doing it that way. Which is fine. It's what it is. I think Chicago has quite a bit of local qualifiers.
Yeah.
Regardless of
regardless
of what stores have them.
Yeah.
Chicago area, and then outside of the Chicago area, you have a couple more too. So you have plenty of options in our area, which is nice. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff.
Because we had people. What blew me away about that and really opened my eyes to the larger community in the Midwest in general. Yeah. We had people who drove from all over to get to us.
Everyone I went to, it's cool. Here's these people from Iowa. Here's these people from Michigan. Here's these people from Wisconsin.
Right. We had a couple
people
from we had Missouri. We had Michigan. We had
Wisconsin. I mean,
people come from all the surrounding states and areas because either they can't make it to the one that's coming to their area.
Right. Well,
or whatever.
I think they get lesser. So there's maybe one or two in their area.
Yeah.
And then they're oh well, we could go to Chicago. It's close enough. It's cheap enough because going to Chicago is cheap.
Yeah.
It's one of the cheaper states to travel to, especially from a surrounding area. You just take a bus most of the places. I was going up to Wisconsin a couple weeks in a row, month or two back, just because I was doing something up there, but it was super cheap. Cool. It's $5. Let's go.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, the ride's gonna suck, but you got there cheap, so whatever.
That's how I started off in events.
Yeah.
I started off with doing merch for band, crashing out, meeting these people, then reaching out to those people when the events were running through those cities, and just be hey, can I crash it in your couch and give you beer money?
Yeah.
And from there, that's how that started. And if you want, just going out somewhere it's cheap. I mean, Megabus, you know how that works, right?
Yeah.
Starts at $1, next seat's $2, next seat's $3, whatever, and you get stuff cheap. Especially in this area, we're lucky that you can either come to our area or come out to these other ones, and most of them have a bus line or something like that. So if you have the patience or the time to do it, the unfortunate part, I think most of the players in this game are a little bit older, gearing at mid-20s upward.
Yep.
For the most part, which usually means you have a job and you can't really take that time as much.
Right.
I know for me, I'm unless I have a specifically open amount of time and it's midweek or something.
Yep.
Chances are I'm not going.
Well, especially since you work weekends mostly.
Yeah.
And these events get held on the weekends mostly.
Yeah. So every once in a while you can get a Sunday in or something like that.
Right.
But it's not consistent, unfortunately.
But yeah, so that's how we started our communities. And of course, the more feedback we get from other people about how they started theirs would be awesome. Always willing to hear about everybody else's stories in comments or whatever.
Comments.
I want to say, is there anything else that you really feel like we need to add, or are we good to cut it here?
No, I think the biggest thing is just, again, stay true to what your people want. Stay true to what you want. If you build it, eventually grow. Especially with a small community. Again, we're not Magic. We're not going to be Magic anytime soon. I don't think we want to be Magic either.
No, yeah.
Because, it's cool. I want that competitive season, but I also want people because right now, I think most stores are kind of in a rut. I think Opus 10 will fix a lot of that.
But yeah. Well, because in Chicago, we have 65 players in the chat. We have a lot.
Is that what we're up to?
We're really
high. Last time I counted was
50. And this is just the Chicago chat, not just Illinois or the Midwest.
Yeah, just the Chicago chat. There's a couple people from out of that, but it's one of those things where it's a very, I don't know. There's half active, half not. I would say.
Well, right, yeah, but like they wanted to be there is the point.
Which is really cool. Yeah, I didn't realize we're up to like 65 now. It's insane. But I can't complain. We've built something over the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, right. I'm very proud of us.
Me too.
I think everybody in
proud of
this
our
community has done a lot of work.
Maybe Jeff or Avery or anybody else who runs the events. Nick.
Yeah.
Emmanuel up in his area.
For sure, yeah.
Shout out to Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Who's a world's qualified player.
Second place at Nats. Oh, if we could get an interview.
I'm so proud of that man.
I'm still really hoping we can get an interview with him. He hasn't responded about it. But
no?
I
mean, considering he's been busy.
Right, yeah, but I'm hoping we can do that, so, like, keep an eye out, guys, just in case.
You might know a guy.
I might know a guy, yeah.
But regardless, yeah, I mean, we have a great community filled with great people, and I'm super happy to be part of it, and I hope we grow even more.
I gotta agree. So, I think we can call it here. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We will catch you guys later.
Shout out to Envy Games and Emmanuel and my mom and Eric right beside me and